Hey, my name is Terry Naughton. I am a freelance illustrator, formerly a Disney animator for Walt Disney Studios and feature films. I worked on classics such as Beauty and the Beast. I did the Genie in Aladdin and Zazu and Lion King, to name a few. Now I'm affiliated with Hound Comics, working with Brim. And I also do, I've been working with Peter Mayhew and Angie Mayhew on their children's book series. And I do a lot of other freelance work. Peter and Angie I was involved with through a man named Shane Moore, who is the author of the Abyss Walker series. And he hired me to do cover art for his books. And at his wedding, he introduced me to Peter and Angie. Also, he introduced me to my agent, Jerry Cates. And so through that, Jerry is also the agent for Peter and Angie. And so through that connection, we started working together on their children's book.
So how did you find the inspiration to draw what you drew in My Favorite Giant, being that it's very different style from the Disney work that you've done before?
Right. That was a bit of a merry-go-round. It really wasn't my choice as much as it was Peter and Angie's choice. I gave them options. I did the characters in a Disney style or in a looser cartoon style. I did it in a caricature type style. I did it in a more realistic style. And after we were going around the bend with it, they sort of opted for more of the Norman Rockwell style, because they like the whimsy of it. And that's how that got. Working with Disney was a serendipitous event. When I was in art school at the Art Center, I was studying to be an illustrator, painter, movie posters, that kind of thing. One of my instructors, his name was Jack Lenwood, he saw the way that I drew, and he really appreciated the fact that I could draw well. And he basically told me, he said, "Kid, I can get you a job with Disney now." So I told him, I said, "Man, I really appreciate it. I'd like to graduate first," because I didn't think much about animation. I wanted to be a book illustrator and all of that. After I graduated, I thought about it a little bit more, and I asked Jack if he'd set up the interview. Well, he set me up with the president of the company. The guy said he knew somebody. The president of the company hooked me up with Don Hahn. After 4 interviews and portfolio reviews, they opted to take me on, and they actually trained me to be an animator. So my schooling started on the job. If I didn't pick up animation in 2 weeks, I was fired. If I didn't keep it going after 3 months, I was fired. And I think it was after a full year of working on my first production that they finally decided, okay, we'll keep you on. So it was sort of trial by fire. I'm full of stories. Now, the ones that I can probably tell you, one thing that was real fun about Disney is that we were a bunch of 35, 45, 65-year-old, 12-year-olds, children. They wanted it, we fostered it, because if we acted like kids, we thought like kids, we drew like kids, we told stories like kids. And that's where our movies kind of came from that. That's a double-edged sword, because when you're acting like kids, there are antics. For example, at the studio, at any given time, a rubber band fight could break out. I was loaded every day. I had 2 hands filled with rubber bands and pockets filled with rubber bands in case an attack would break out. And it happened often. We pulled pranks on each other a lot.
What was the craziest prank that you guys ever did?
Well, one prank, I don't know if it was the craziest one, but one prank was fun. A friend of mine left for vacation. When he came back, his entire room was gift wrapped. We wrapped every pencil, we wrapped every eraser, every drawings, stacks of drawings that he had. We wrapped his phone, his chair, his entire room was completely gift wrapped when he came back. So that, we would stage fights in, like, at April Fool's. A guy just didn't know what was happening. A fist fight would break out in his room. And it was all staged. We would hide things. One guy came back one time and his whole room was gone. Whole room was gone. Everything. We took everything out of his room. He didn't know what to think. We hid it all over the studio. He had to go find it. So we did that story. So we're all, every day was a new day. They'd call me down and ambush me. I mean, they had this Nerf gun, and 4 or 5 of them put a contract out on it. So they called me down into a room, and I was actually kind of tired because we had been working all night. And I listlessly just sort of go into this room, and I get shot by about 50 Nerf guns. I mean, just ambushed. So anything like that we had, just goofy stuff. It was fun.
What happens when things don't necessarily go entirely to plan in a major motion picture?
Okay, that can happen. I remember a time during Beauty and the Beast. Just like any other production of any film or business, you do have deadlines. I mean, you can't just sit there and draw these things when you want. You have deadlines. Well, I was given a deadline that was somewhat unrealistic about getting a scene out of the Beast. Well, Dorothy McKim, who was our production manager at the time, and a very good friend of mine, she said, "Terry, I need you to get this scene out." And I said, "Well, I'll see." And it was a 21-foot scene, which is a very long scene in animation. And I knew that with the crew that I had, it's not going to get done by Friday. There's just no way. So what I did is I put it back on her. I said, "Dorothy, here's what we're going to have. I need 7 excellent draftsmen. 7. If you bring me 7, I guarantee you the scene. If you bring me 6, I don't guarantee it." And I just put the pressure back on her. She got me 7 people, and I had to complete. I'll tell you another one that was even more pressure than that on Oliver and Company. There's a scene where they all go down this chute. All the characters are zipping down the chute and they're on boxes. I had 1 day to get that entire scene done. I had everybody in the studio working with me. And it was a scene, they said that if we didn't get it done that day, it wasn't going to be in the movie. I literally, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I was running down the hallway with that scene to put it in. We got it done in the absolute last minute. But we got it done. And it was in the movie. Yeah, real fresh.
What do you look forward to doing with Hound?
Actually, Hound Comics is a very intriguing process. So the whole team is really awesome. Brim and all of the other, I'm just meeting some of the new artists. I'm kind of the new kid on the street. I'm going to develop a couple of characters that Brim and I are talking about to grow the family, so to speak. So we'll be developing new characters for comic books as well as other printed material. And I may or may not be involved in drawing in the comic books. It depends upon whether my style is going to fit that. But where I will be coming in on this is bringing in some new stuff, still with the Hound Comics involved. Matter of fact, the Hound Comics are going to be involved in the new book that I'm doing with Peter Mayhew and Angie Mayhew. So they're going to be incorporated in that book, and I'll be supervising the drawer on that. So look forward to that. The internet, keep looking for our stuff. We're going to be advertising all kinds of work coming out of the Hound Comics. Your eyes peeled. Brim is now starting to bring me into some of the conventions, so if we're heading to a convention near your town, look for us. We'll be there. We not only bring our stuff, but we'll draw original work for you. be signing, and yeah, just it'd be nice to meet everybody. And that'd be good.